IGN Live at E3, your one-stop shop for live game demos. If you missed any of our past demos, just check the schedule on e3.ign.com. Moving along, the original Xcom is still one of the best strategy games of all time. That's just a fact. Well, rejoice, old school gamers, we're getting a new Xcom. Say hi to Enemy Unknown.
Thanks, Naomi. I'm here with Jake. He's going to show us Xcom, Enemy Unknown.
Yes, happy to.
Now, I love strategy games. I know that I would love the original Xcom, but I've never gotten a chance to play it.
It's terrible.
That's why I'm very happy.
Terrible.
I'm very happy you're making this. This looks really cool. I'm very excited for it. And Jake was just telling me that he did play the original Xcom, and it's the reason you wanted to make video games.
Yes.
And now here you are making the new XCOM.
I mean, it's the reason I'm here. I played that game. It came out in 1994, right? So in game years, that's like 1,000 years ago.
It is,
We
yes.
played on stone tablets. And I played that all throughout my senior year of high school. It's the reason I got a computer science degree in college. It's the reason I went to work for Firaxis, because I love strategy games so much. And then for the last 12 plus years I've been at Firaxis, I've been begging Sid every time something comes up. I say, you know what we should really be making? XCOM. So for me, I'm living the dream.
Finally, he was just like, okay, all right, just leave me alone.
He got tired of it,
and
he let me do it, yeah.
All right, so show us the footage here. What are we going to look at? First of all, just give us a brief overview of what XCOM is.
XCOM is the players in charge of an elite military organization, and as we see here, as some members of our organization, and we're showing off here one of the new classes of our soldiers, a late game class called the Psionic Soldier. They use their mind as a weapon, and as you can see here, we have Sid Meier himself.
Very familiar, yes.
Yes. Who has a bigger brain than that guy, right? So we're going to show him off, but until we do, first we're going to show you what it's like when you have rookies and you try and face off against late game aliens. So we have a couple rookies here in conventional body armor, and they've heard something, and what they've heard is one of the most feared enemies in video game history, the chrysalid. And what we say at the office is, if you can see one, you're already dead. So even if we get a lucky shot off here, take one out, you're never going to be able to overcome all of them. And with chrysalids, it's actually a fate worse than death, as you're going to see, because a bite will turn your soldiers into zombified versions of themselves. They will rise to come after their own squad mates, and then if you don't kill them in time, well, then they do this. Yes, and they hatch into a new chrysalid. That's our M rating right there, by the way. That's pretty much it. So now we can bring in our late game soldiers. You know, we can see we've got a jetpack on this guy here, and he's really leveled up. So he's able to move, fire multiple times in the same turn. And the best counter to these chrysalids is basically to get where they can't reach you. And the mid-air is the place to be. So we can see that our sniper can take out both of these guys here. So, piece of cake. That frees us to bring up Sid Meier, the big brain himself. And as he comes up, he's going to show off these new powers. And a psionic warrior, they use their mind as their weapon, and so he's going to use this special ability, mind control. And this is how we turn the tables on the aliens. We take complete control of the enemy, and now they're ours to control. And we're going to make this enemy right here, we're just going to make him eat his own grenade.
It's pretty great.
Yes, very effective, highly, highly effective, which allows us to show off our final soldier, the stealth unit. He's got what we call the ghost suit for obvious reasons. Completely invisible when stealth is activated to enemy units. And this allows him to get close up on those big, bad, nasty units. We can use our integrated grapple here in the suit. And we can scale any building. And see, as you can see here, we're right next to this big berserker, an incredibly deadly unit, but he doesn't even see us, so we can just take him out. So just like that, we clear out all the aliens. But as in XCOM, your work is never done. There's always somebody else. And so Sid's calling us to form up here, and our squad of super soldiers will assemble. And as they do, for the first time, we're going to show off one of the very, very late game aliens. This big bad boy is the Sectopod. He is 2 stories of robotic death. And before we show what he can do, we'll cut away before all the carnage.
Yeah. You video game guys, you love to do that.
I know.
Introduce the big guy and then you cut away.
Right. It's a cliche, but we love it.
It's good. It's effective.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's turn-based strategy.
It is turn-based strategy.
Do you progress through the game like you would in like Final Fantasy Tactics, where you like here's a map, you got to clear out the map, then you move on to the next map, clear out that map?
I mean, it's really, so we've got the strategy layer over the top of the combat layer, and that's a whole other half of the game. And there's where the player makes decisions, and it's different every time you play, but what missions to respond to, because the aliens are attacking different countries every time. The player has to choose, okay, am I going to help America this time? Am I going to help Australia? And those choices have a really big impact on the resources you get, on how those countries feel about you. And so yeah, the player progresses through that strategy layer. There's all kinds of research. All the items you bring back from combat, you can research. Those can turn into new weapons, new armor. You can do autopsies on the aliens. You can capture live aliens and interrogate them, right? So you can do almost everything. So there's a whole other layer over the top of combat.
When are we going to get to do all of that stuff?
October 9th, coming out for Xbox 360, PS3, and PC.
Jake, it looks awesome. I'm so glad I'm finally going to get a chance to play XCOM.
I am too.
Back to you, Naomi.
Thanks, Damon. Now, between Diablo 3 and our next game, 2012 is a really good year for loot drops. A sequel to Borderlands 2 is coming, and it looks even more insane than the originals, I promise. Keep it locked here for Borderlands 2.